It's the talk of the town. So come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410. On WRMN, it's the talk of the town. So come on and listen now. It's Deano's Night Out on WRMN 1410.
Hello and good afternoon. This is Deano's Night Out. We're going to have a new driver on the board today because we have some neat videos that we're going to show. Our first guest that we have today is Dan Kairis, and he's a gentleman to, on your screen, I guess it would be to my left. But
your left, stage right. Who knows?
There you go.
I make a great director.
Talking like a real producer and a real director. And it's a real neat thing because Dan is a part of so many neat projects, and one of them is called Forget Me Not, and it has to do with Alzheimer's, which is something that we'll be diving into and talking about. Alzheimer's I've been working on for many years myself with the Order Sons of Italy. Alzheimer's and the thing they call Cooley's anemia was one of our big charities that we would support, and people didn't really understand what Alzheimer's is, and it's something really serious, and there's some early warning signs, but it doesn't have to be so serious that you can't, I don't want to say, dare I say, joke about it, but you could still have a sense of humor while going through this. You know, in the beginning, it's like, what are you talking about? You know, how you gonna have a sense of humor? This is my mother. This is my father. They're not the same. They don't even know me from one day to the other. Well, there's ways to get around different things like that. I'm not going to steal any thunder at all from.
You can have
Dan
all the
here.
thunder you want.
Oh no, I like the fact that you're going to be doing. You go just a little taste closer. Thank you. But yeah, I'm going to just again. I'd like to welcome you, Dan. Thank you for being on the show. How are you?
Well, thank you much for having us here and helping to spread the word.
Yeah,
and
great.
I'm doing just fine.
Oh, you are. Well, we'd love to hear that. You know, a couple of things that I put on the one little teaser. On the YouTube piece that we put on the Facebook to make sure people tuned in. And those of you that have any questions, you could always call 847-931-1410. 847-931-1410. We have the text number of 505-926. And again, 1410. Kind of goes along with the radio station numbers. See how we did that? But now that Matt's running the board, say hi to everybody, Matt. Let them know who's behind this, the windows over there.
Yes, hello.
Okay, good. But we got some cool videos that are going to come on. But I do want to make sure that we acknowledge, we're going to go to our screen now. It's Arcata Theaters. Ron Onesti, our very dear friend, over in St. Charles, supports this show each and every week from 2 to 4, Deano's Night Out, and it's supported by Arcata Theater. So here's what's going on over at the Arcata tonight. We got Buck Cherry, and they also got Nashville Pussy. Okay, that's the name. The first one is it's a unique, complex, simple, passionate, explosive, original, but always a good time. So you ask, it's a Josh Todd. He's about the inspiration behind the Blackberry, and it's something that may be a little acquired taste, but I think you're going to like it. He's got the old rock and roll, the old style, and I think you're going to enjoy the show. Nashville Pussy, that was formed in 1977. They've preached its sleazy gospel over the past couple of decades, And I can't read the rest, Matt, because it's too far.
I can read it.
Would you?
Yeah, and it's decades alongside Motorhead in every rock outpost from Asia to Europe and back again. Nashville Pussy has gained a reputation for being like AC/DC with a female Angus.
There you go. I imagine that's it. So it's great bands. Ron always gets unique acts in there, and this is one I'm sure you're going to like at 8:00. And then tomorrow they have at the Arcada, they got Johnson Texaphonic. It's one of the most outstanding instrumentalists in rock over the past 40 years. Again, I'm not too good on the Texas guitarist. Eric Johnson was already a legend before they recorded his first album. By the early 1900s, many celebrated I can't read it from my distance.
That's okay.
Isn't that terrible when you get old? Sorry about that, folks.
Oh, no, I lost my place here. Oh, my goodness. 1980s, many celebrated guitarists were singing the praises of this skinny kid from Austin with the mind-melting chops.
Austin, Texas. And his next guy, Taj Farrant. And go ahead, you can read all about him.
Taj Farrant's debut album tour, titled Chapter 1, marks an exciting milestone for the young Australian guitarist and singer-songwriter.
And there you have it. So that's what's going on at the Arcada Theater. Pardon the fact that I couldn't read it, but I do have Matt running the board. I should have let him just read it from the beginning. But we thank you very much, Ron, for supporting us. Let's get back to our conversation with Dan. And I think I have a few slides down there, too. And so, what was it that drew you into want to be a part of the Alzheimer's?
A number of factors came into play. I think I have to give you a little bit of background or foreground or whatever.
Please do.
I submitted to be an extra back in 83, I think. I'm sorry, 2003.
Okay.
2013. 2013.
We'll get the dates right between my reading and your recollection. I don't know. I think we got the right program here today.
Well, I could have been an FBI agent in the Transformers movie that came out in 2014, but I was in the wrong state at the wrong time for an unscheduled shoot, so I missed that one. But that led me to a couple of episodes in Chicago Fire and Chicago PD, and I did that for about 3 seasons. And I asked one of the extras I knew, I says, how do you get a speaking line? I want to be a doorman. Welcome to the Ritz.
Yeah, there you go.
Something simple, nothing, but just something to have something so my kids and grandkids, if I ever had any, would know that, there's Grandpa. So that led me to Dennis telling me, well, you have to have an acting reel. Mm-hmm. I didn't even know what an acting reel was. I says, what's that? Well, you have to have speaking lines so that people can see what talents you have.
Articulation, expression.
Yeah, sure. That kind of thing. And the thought occurred to me, oh, wait a minute. You can't get hired until you have an acting reel with speaking parts. So this is a catch-22.
It's like the 21-year-old or 18-year-old out of college or out of high school needs a job. Well, you need experience first.
That's right, yeah.
Well, give me the job, I'll get the experience. Yeah.
So anyway, that led me to a couple of different things. I was to student films. College kids are always looking for other people to be in their films. So I did that for a couple things. Loretta Smith, who I thank to this day for me still being in here, in the film industry, cast me as an Alzheimer's patient for about a 20-minute short. I thought we did a pretty good job, but shorts, just because there are so many of them that are produced, it didn't get as much traction and exposure as we were hoping for. So when my old neighbor, who I've known for 45 years, was diagnosed, we found out about it. I got in touch with Loretta, says, we have to make Love's Last Dance into a feature-length film so that more people can be exposed to what Alzheimer's is. She was going to do it, but because of timing and whatever, we couldn't get it done. And I asked her, I says, well, do you mind if we do our own story? She says, no, we can do Love's Last Dance maybe as a sequel to it, in 2026. So we came up with Forget Me Not. And instead of, if you watch a lot of the Alzheimer's movies, they focus on the afflicted person. Or there may be one other person involved, like the wife or a daughter or that type of thing. And I wanted to focus on the effects of on the family and friends. So in Forget Me Not, my wife and I, who meet in high school, and we're high school sweethearts all the way for almost 30 years, and we have 4 kids, and we have a couple grandkids eventually, and then everything is wonderful. We have promotions, we have graduations. I mean, it's an idyllic life. And then the diagnosis is hit. In the film, you can see a little bit. I can't find my glasses, even though they're on my head. What happened to the brush? And, I get lost and whatever, which is what normally happens. Alzheimer's doesn't all of a sudden, bam, you've got Alzheimer's. There are, and I'm sure you're aware of it, doing work with what you're doing.
Right.
There are signals or signs that people may be going down that path. Now, a lot of people, unfortunately, the family thinks, oh, it's just Uncle Harry, he's getting old. It's just old age, he's forgetting things. And that leads to people not being diagnosed because there are different treatments and that type of thing that can delay the disease and, make things easier for the family. But they're just not diagnosed. And that's one of the things we wanted to bring out in the film, that you can't deny what is happening. You don't want it to happen, but it does. In the state of Illinois, in 2020, the last report I saw, 230,000 people in the state of Illinois are affected with it. By now, it's probably 250,000.
I would imagine, sure.
If you look at the nation, it's over 7 million, and worldwide it's like 50 million. So this is a major disease that is kind of brushed underneath the carpet. We always hear about heart, we hear about lungs, we hear about cancer. We don't hear that much about Alzheimer's, when in actuality, the last report I saw, it's the 7th leading cause of death in this country. But
what number?
7th.
7th. Wow.
Now, this is a report a couple of years ago,
I
so it might have changed. Maybe it's up to 5 now, I'm not sure. But it affects so many people, and we hear about it, but nothing is being done about it. So we were hoping that by giving the film exposure to more people, that maybe we can generate a little more interest in having something done, in research.
And the part that people don't realize, and I like what your take was, not so much on the individual, which is important, but the partner, even the caretaker sometimes, focusing on how it affects their lives and how it affects, when you're talking a married couple, your story of the high school sweethearts, everything was shared.
Right.
We're going to do this, we're going to do that, let's take care of this, let's take care of that. Now, all of a sudden, that partnership has been dissolved, not because you wanted it to, but because your partner's unable to act.
That's right.
And that's very sad because, you know each other from high school, and, oh, you drive down the street. Remember we used to go here? Oh, yeah, well, let's grab one of those ice creams again. Or so-and-so has that, whatever, steak sandwich over here. Or, man, I remember this. Or you go to that famous fishing spot that you enjoyed. But now you go to these places, and it's like, you got crickets in the car. No one's saying nothing. There's no,
That's right.
No, like, hey, baby, remember when we did this? Or, no, it's the, and it's got to be a strain. So certainly, and again, with your research, you know way more than I do, but it's a fact that.
Well, maybe a little anyway.
Maybe a little. and I do have quite a bit that we have researched on it, and they educated us, because you want to catch the signs. And the signs are real important. Like you joked around, well, where's my keys? I can't tell you how many times where I put them, where I didn't, or I'm walking around looking for my cell phone and it's in my hand. because I know I set it down, and here it's in my hand because you get so used to it. So you got to check the signs. Even myself, I'm going to have one of those evaluations done, all jokes aside, just to make sure, because I just had a birthday, and I want to make sure that I'm banging on all 8.
Well, that's one of the things we focused on, not only the family, but also the progression of the disease family-wise. You have denial, where, oh, that's just Uncle Harry's,
Yeah.
I should say Ed, because that's our character.
Oh, okay.
Well, Ed, he just lost his glasses, he does that all the time. We actually have a scene about that where my brother's denying it. My wife is going, no, there's something seriously wrong. And it turned out she's correct. We have guilt because you feel guilty. Is it your fault? Should you have done something earlier? That type of thing.
Should you have detected it earlier instead of, oh, it's just how it is?
Right.
Should you have asked a question? Yeah.
And then there's confusion. People don't know what to do. There's frustration with not only the afflicted trying to remember something, but it's also with the rest of the family trying to deal with that. So I think I think I'm forgetting one somewhere, but we try to go through the process during the movie using real life situations, because everybody that was on our team, and I think we've got 22, every one of them have had or had experience with someone with Alzheimer's. One of our other producers lost his mother just last year. My character, who we kind of focused on, or at least I focused on, he just passed away last year.
Yeah.
Our other producer lost his grandmother a couple of years ago. And everybody, it started off as a passion project. And then we decided, okay, how do we get this word out? And that's where the idea of turning it into a fundraiser came. If we can turn it into a fundraiser, maybe more people will pay attention to it. And it's been working out so far.
Beautiful. And I see in front of you, is that where people could call? You have to lift up a little higher. There you go.
Oh, there we go. This is our website. I think Matt could possibly bring it up. That has all the information about the film itself. We have a link into it right about there.
Who's that old guy in the picture there?
Yeah, that old guy, what's he doing? He looks like, like he's old. We have 2 different versions of it. One is closed captioned. The other one is not closed captioned. And it's just a way of raising money for the funds. What we're doing is we're actually working a lot with alz.org, the Alzheimer's awareness. And we're directing funds to individual chapters. We have
Nationwide. Okay.
We have currently potentially scheduled interviews with Albany, New York, and Richmond, Virginia. And we're looking to do, progressing more than that so that we can get this word out and also raise funds for the individual chapters.
Yeah, no, this is a great undertaking. My second mom, I called her mom, well, my father passed away. He died at 93, and he always thought he was going to take care of Sue. Well, Sue survived him, and she developed the Alzheimer's. And, when you watch it sometimes, she would be talking like, oh, where's Nick? My dad. And then she'd sit and think about it for, oh, yeah, boy, what a good man he was, She'd have that brief moment like, where is he? She'd come out of whatever you want to say they're in, but it was only very, very brief, And she would remember most of us most of the time. A lovely daughter, my sister-in-law, but she's my sister, Lori, stood by her side through the whole thing. But people don't realize with the Alzheimer's, a lot of other things happen with the forgetfulness. You can forget to swallow the right way with Alzheimer's.
From what I understand, with the progression of the disease, it starts shutting down parts of the brain.
Right.
And it's not a matter of forgetting to swallow. It's the connection from the brain to the throat to swallow is lost. So you just
The neurological connection.
physically,
correct.
you can't.
But basically it's not that they're losing their memory or they don't know. It's just like you're saying, it affects everything else that's in your body. As you well know, the brain, through the spinal cord, one little piece does this, one does that. And I just experienced it with having to see 3 through 7 surgery on my spine. I got use of my hands again. I had all numb. So imagine that even on a bigger scale, affecting the brain to where it's affecting motor skills, affecting your speech,
That's right.
your memory, and it's a shame. And to watch that's got to be difficult.
Well, again, that's the frustration, the anger. Why is it happening?
Yeah.
Why is it happening to Ed?
Yeah.
Why was he chosen? Whatever.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the guilt. If you, no matter how you handle it, no matter how well you handle it, there's going to be a certain amount of guilt you're going to feel.
Yeah.
At least with I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours of videos I watched regarding Alzheimer's, but that was a common thread, no matter how different. I like to think of Alzheimer's kind of like autism, in as much as you have a whole spectrum.
Yes.
Like my neighbor was the kindest, gentlest, most caring guy during the process. And I know somebody who used to throw bricks at people because they were trespassing on their lawn, even though they were an ant.
There's the one commercial, if you see it, with the mother and her daughter, where she was touching her mom and her mother pulled back.
Right.
It was combative all of a sudden. That was never her nature. That was never her style. But this causes that. In fact, I read somewhere, and I couldn't find it because I wanted to have it for this show, that probably, and if it is true, and what I read, that the saddest part is there's brain activity that they're detecting. Nobody really knows if the person knows that they're losing these skills.
Right.
So are you trapped in this body of, why is everybody talking to me like this? You're processing it, but it's not coming out, And I don't know if that study has gone all the way through. I know I read about it, but they say that that's why you need to check every little signal, every little sign. Be careful in the diagnosis.
Well, if I can give a call out to ALZ.org, Alzheimer's Awareness, they have an amazing amount of information that people can look at. If you have questions about, well, gee, is Uncle Harry, is that just old age, or is he getting, is he going to develop this? They have all kinds of information that can help out with that. They even have an 800 number, I think, if I remember right, that you can call. Oh, there it is, Alzheimer's. Very good, Matt.
Is Matt good or what?
He's good.
Hey, listen, we're getting ready to go to a break. That's what that music is. Dan, you're going to stick with us for the next segment?
Absolutely. We haven't even
What a
talked
gentleman.
about my film career yet.
Oh, we got to get onto all of that. Listen, Dan Kairis, he's really a character. This guy's 75 years old. Look at him. He looks great. Well, maybe the beard make him look it. But when we come back, we're going to talk a lot of different things. More about the Alzheimer's, more about maybe how you can get involved, and about his career. Quite a guy. Softball player, too. Can you imagine that? Diving catches at 75. Hey, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Thank you very much, WRMN 1410. Deano's Night Out.
Dad? Where did you go? Dad? Dad? Daddy? Where'd you go? Are you in here? Dad? 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 Dad, where are you?
Those of you listening to us on the radio, we have the YouTube clip going right now, which is from the movie Forget Me Not.
Dad,
and we'll be explaining it in just a little bit with Mr. Kairis.
What's happening? Daddy!
And there we go. So give us a little bit of a backdrop on it. Again, everybody, we're back, WRMN Deano's Night Out. A little bit more of a serious topic today, but we have Dan Kairis in studio, and he is the actual actor that you were seeing, those of you that were watching the YouTube. It's from Forget Me Not. That's the name of the movie. So go ahead, Dan. Give us what the scene was.
That was the scene. She keeps calling me Dad and Daddy, but she's actually my daughter-in-law. But because of the close-knit family that we were trying to portray, we made her almost like our daughter. So this is how things can happen with someone with Alzheimer's. All you have to do is leave them for a minute. She just went into the kitchen to do some dishes, and she looks out, and I'm not there. And
Okay, so when you say we placed her as your daughter,
yeah,
just call it, because you're saying you have to live in their reality. Is that what you're talking about in that piece? Or are you just saying
no,
backdrop of the film?
In the film,
okay.
we wanted the close knit. So she's used to calling me Dad, Daddy all the time.
Right.
And in the film, she's married to my son.
Okay.
So that we're trying to just bring that
I
closeness
get you.
together in the movie itself.
Oh, that's fine. But you had brought something up, though, during the break that I think is very important, and it could piece even some of the clip together. When you're dealing with somebody with Alzheimer's, you're saying that it's don't control it, roll with it in a sense, and you have to live in their reality was the words that you said.
Right.
Is that correct?
If someone is, your person is talking about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and they're putting mustard and ketchup or something, you don't correct them. Say, oh, well, I'm not sure if that's going to taste very good or not, but confrontation does nothing but make a situation worse. In some cases, you try to deflect from somebody. You don't try to change their mind, you just deflect them to something else. Let's say they're maybe playing with scissors, they're using scissors or a knife, and you don't really want them to. You don't. If it's a safety factor, yeah, you have to take it away. But if they're just playing with it, whatever, say, oh, you know what? Why don't we go?
You don't just snatch it out of their hands.
Right.
You want to gracefully say, hey, listen, you know what? We'll cut up that stuff later. Let's just put the knife over here, and now put the knife
That's
away
right.
from them.
I need you to help me with the milk.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's real important to understand because each case is different from what all my research and all the things that we were taught from the Alzheimer's Foundation, that every case is different. Some people are combative. Some people revert to a very young age. Some people are just so complacent, and some people just don't care about nothing. The idea is you need to still keep them involved and make what they have to say important, am I right on that? It's,
oh, yeah. You
have to have them engaged so that, and again, engage on their level on kind of what they're doing. Not to always tell, you said peanut butter and jelly and you got mustard and ketchup. Well, what's wrong with you? That's not going to help.
That does not do anything.
I got you.
And kind of bringing that point in keeping them involved, one of the things that they have shown anyway recently is to keep the patient involved in things. Don't ignore them. Don't have them sit in the sofa and do nothing, whatever. Try to keep them involved, whether it's with family, whether it's, maybe playing a game. Maybe they don't know what the rules of the game is and they do something that's completely out of the ordinary. Let it go. But you're keeping them interacting. And that seems to be a help to delay the disease somewhat.
Excellent. And again, just to repeat for those of you just joining, Dan was a part of Love's Last Dance. And he felt it was a short, and it just wasn't enough. So that's why they came up with Forget Me Not. And it's you could go on to your website here, if you'll raise that again, please. And it's fmnfilm.com. You'll want to check it out. It's a great little story. Dan has told us a lot about it. But it's funny how, again, his motivation to go and make this bigger than what it was once you have the awareness, you want to get that message out there. It's like, wow, that's like this is so many people that I know, and the more people that know about it and treat it more like, what it is, the Alzheimer's is a very serious thing. It doesn't have to be all tight-knit and you can't joke about it, but recognizing it early, there's a lot of the early signs, forgetting where the keys are at is one big one that they talk about. Making mistakes on the finances. All of a sudden, you had a guy that always took care of our gal that was doing all the finances in the house, and all of a sudden, the electric got shut off. Well, how come the electric got shut off? You're sitting there in the dark. Oh, I thought I paid that bill. So there's little things that could be telling you, what's happening. A lot of times, recalling, where you've been, even maybe 20 minutes ago, you just got back from a restaurant and you're talking about, hey, well, maybe we'll go get a bite to eat. Well, you just went. So you have to recognize what your partner is saying so that you get the early signs, and maybe they can be tested. And as far as, what is out there to give as far as a therapy or a medicine, I don't know that they have any type of cure per se, but I know they have things that slow things down.
The key tagline that the Alzheimer's groups use is, we're still waiting to have the first survivor.
Nice.
And unfortunately, Alzheimer's is a death sentence. In some cases, it may be 2 years, it may be 3 years. I watched a documentary, one of the many videos I watched, and this person was in the UK, and the husband wound up with it. And I don't think when he started this documentary that he realized it was going to be 9 years before the husband passed away. So again, it's, like that spectrum, like with autism, it can be any number of
Be a little bit,
things.
or it could be huge.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's very interesting. You got to check out the movie. I think it'd be worth your time, but more about what it represents.
But before we go on, it is being used as a fundraiser.
And there you go.
So you can rent it for $3, and because we have to pay all the fees for storage and streaming and all the other things involved in it, $2 of that will go directly to Alzheimer's, one of the chapters.
Excellent. And once the bills are caught up, I'm sure to put all of it toward it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to pay for production. Everything costs money.
Well, that was
that's off of this website here. And we're going to do the website one more time, fmnfilm.com. So let's utilize this as the fundraiser that it is. It's only $3 for you to view this, to view the clip. Check it out. You're going to enjoy it. The parts of it that I saw, I enjoyed it. I had a problem with it failed. I tried to pay the money. It flipped over, it accepted it, and then it stopped. So we're getting to the bottom of it. I saw it here when Dan came in. I saw a lot of pieces of it, and I tell you what, it's very, very good. But,
I wonder if you got part of that outage that happened with, was it 8? I'm not going to say
with
who it
Facebook
was.
and everyone, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you gave it to me, that's when I went right on and tried to find out. And we've been talking for a week and a half now.
Okay.
But, you're an actor, and that's pretty cool. And, you got your start as Hollywood. Everybody knows you as Hollywood. Dan Hollywood Kairis. And, your start came from the Chicago PD, Chicago FD as an extra. And tell us about that big dynamic softball game you were playing.
Okay, so I was, like I said, I think I had 2 episodes of Fire and 1 episode of PD.
So were you on the fire side or PD side at this movie?
I was just in between. I forgot.
Oh, okay. That's all right.
I'm in character.
We're going to get you tested too, Dan. Don't worry. You're on the list.
That's right. And I did 3 episodes. I've been playing softball for 30, 40 years, whatever it's been. And we were in the World Championship tournament in Vegas. And I told my team about being an extra. Oh, hey, that's cool. You're on TV and yaddy, yaddy, yaddy. And I said, well, yeah, it's kind of cool. Well, we're in a semi-championship game, and a guy hits a line drive I'm playing left center, between me and our right center fielder. I know he doesn't get it. If I don't get it, it rolls to the fence inside the park home run. They take the lead, and who knows how many more runs they score. I'm 18 inches horizontal, just like you see in the major leagues. At 60, whatever I was, make this diving catch. I get back to the dugout and tell and I go up to our second baseman. He goes, "That's a real Hollywood catch, Mr. Hollywood."
That's how you got the
I'm
Hollywood
going, "Hey,
name.
wait, that's I get nicknames from a lot of people, and Hollywood is the nicest one I know, so I'm sticking with that one."
That's pretty slick. All over a catch.
That's right.
Now,
And
did the film people see that catch or what?
no, unfortunately.
Okay.
But I have become an easy gift for my kids, my wife, anything if it says Hollywood on it,
There's your gift,
I get it.
Mr. Hollywood. Are you enjoying the acting career as far as the?
If I knew
with the
more
PD?
what I was doing, it would probably be easier. But I've been able to work with so many talented people. And somebody once said, if you do acting, make sure to get with people that are better than you,
Yeah, it's like a sport, sure.
because people are going to pay more attention to them than they will you. So it kind of helps take care of your mistakes, but you also get to learn so much more. I want to give a shout out to Jenny Wardock. She was my wife. And if anybody watches the movie and does not fall in love with her, there's something seriously wrong with them. She was just such an outstanding addition to the cast that after doing a few scenes with her and all, I says, "You're going to be the one that sells this movie." I mean, she's just that talented.
And she's been acting for some time.
Longer than I have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all right.
But no, everybody that was chosen for the film, like I said, had experience with Alzheimer's. And it started off as a passion project. Nobody took any money to do it. They were thrilled to be able to try to pass the message along. And that's why we're renting it out for $3 instead of $10 or whatever, because we wanted to make it available to just about anybody. I mean, that's what, a cup of coffee anymore.
Yeah, basically.
So
You can't even get a Starbucks for $3, can you, Matt? You get that Starbucks. Your macchiatos and all the other crazy
$7.50.
Gone
things.
up to almost
be.
$6 now.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
ridiculous.
So
but
watch the
that's what it
movie
is.
twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Pay the money to pay the money to the organization instead of have a coffee for that day. You know, and like you said, another name you mentioned, which is Loretta Smith. She's the one that really gave you your first
Loretta, yeah.
Loretta. I apologize.
Right.
So Loretta Smith, she's the one that helped you with that short film.
Well, I had never been in front of a camera and didn't like getting up in front of a class. I had a speech class, which was theater, speech, whatever. It was one of those required classes that you had to take, humanities, whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And I had to get up in front of the class and do whatever it was. It was the scariest, probably 30 seconds, because after 30 seconds, I just sat down and went back and took a D or whatever it was. And I didn't have a clue. I was in a couple of college student ones, but these were like 5 or 7 minute shorts. So there's not too much time you can have to screw up. Plus, I was not the lead actor. I was just, helping out. Mm-hmm. And when Loretta asked, cast me in this, I go, why? I'm thinking, what am I getting myself into? But she was so patient and, I think just she gave me so much without, "Hey, you dummy, what's wrong with you? Why'd you do that?" She says, "Let's try to do this."
She encouraged you to do
Yeah,
try a little
absolutely.
something different.
And almost 6 years later, now we're publishing a movie that hopefully is going to, affect people nationwide.
Exactly. And in this type of movie, when you're talking Alzheimer's and, you want to get a message out, I couldn't think of a better topic to get more awareness to. Because a lot of people, like you say, they miss the signs. The signs are there. Pay attention to them. If you're talking, you're talking with your family member and you're sitting with your family members and they're having a hard time recalling their names of the different people they're talking with, there's something there. you have to at least research it.
One of the suggestions that I was reading just the other day, one of the things you can do to help is when you come into a room, let's say you're the one with Alzheimer's, and, oh, Deano, hey, Dan, how you doing? You give them your name.
Yeah.
And that might help bridge things.
Triggers things.
You try to
the right
make
way.
things, it's almost like you're talking or treating a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
You can't expect them to have an adult mind at a certain time during the disease, and you have to treat it like that. That's another thing. But you were mentioning, check out the symptoms or the
Same.
actions and all. One of the things I found out, and we were talking about this during a break, that if there's a big change in character, you have a mild-mannered person that's just the most level person in the world, and then they go ballistic over the smallest things.
Right.
That could be an indication that something's more serious than just old age.
Yeah. It's, the other part too is you have to have the uncomfortable conversation. It's nothing's comfortable to talk to your mother or father or your spouse, whoever it may be, and discuss with them that, look, you may not see yourself, but this is going on. Is something going on? Are you feeling what we're seeing? You have to be upfront with them. You're not supposed to just placate them and go with every flow, not going against your story like with the peanut butter and jelly and the tomato and ketchup and mustard. There's a way to get out of
Right.
little mistakes like that. That's not placating somebody.
It's called deflection.
Right. And being straight with the person and letting them know that, look, maybe we got to look at this. Maybe we need to do some exercises. And, a lot of credit goes to, they were saying, like those word find books, buy the big letter word finds. Buy them for whoever may be afflicted with them. It keeps their mind active. Make extra efforts to, if it's your spouse, put them in the car, take a ride in the car. Try to go to all those different special places that you used to have. Keep those memories at least warm so that they could be, ignited again, if that be the case. But it's difficult. It's difficult. We always expect that everything's going to be the same. Nothing bad's ever going to happen. We're just going to grow old and, things are going to be good. Well, no.
Unfortunately, it doesn't turn out that way.
It certainly doesn't happen that way for everybody. And, I really, again, I give you a lot of credit and a lot of applause for, your big name Hollywood. I get it. But the fact that you do a little short and then you realize, wow, this Alzheimer's thing is real. How can I be a part to help it? And that goes for really anything.
And I want to give the same credit to the rest of the team because they were willing to put up with my inadequacies when it comes to doing a movie. The first time I had ever attempted a feature-length film. And I made a lot of mistakes that they were able to help correct. So I have to give all the credit to Dre and Derek and Mike and Jenny especially, MJ, our floor manager. I mean, it was a team that worked together very well. We had this wonderful chemistry, and I think part of that was each of us had
you said they had exposure and
we had
experience to
exposure
Alzheimer's.
to the same thing, so we had a common thread.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that was the glue that held you together,
Right.
or what brought you together,
And when people
And your
watch,
passion is what made
when
you
people watch the
do
movie,
this.
I think they'll get that clue that we did have chemistry, and getting the word out was, I think it came more naturally or organic. I think is the word to us, just because we did have that common thread running amongst us.
Yeah, I very important. Just like with here at the radio station, I'm able this time to sit next to you and talk to you. I got Matt running the board. And do we have another clip that we wanted to play?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, let me
Let's
get
throw
that
one
for
more
you.
clip out here. But, there's a whole lot more that's behind the scenes that is up front. as an actor. Would you not say?
I learned that becoming not only an actor, which, like I said before, I'm glad I was no longer the lead, and actually producing it. There are so many different things, editing and color correcting and
Right.
sound, and all these things have to be put together to make a completed film. And any actor who doesn't appreciate that and says, well, you know what, I think I should do this. You're the actor. There's a director.
Yeah. Everybody has a spot.
That's right.
Stay in your lane.
There you go.
Right. Just stay in your lane, do what you have to do. I mean, this has been really enlightening. I more like your passion for, and your whole crew that has this passion for wanting to work toward an Alzheimer's, we'll call it hopeful cure. And what was the quote that you said on the cure? You're still looking for the first survivor of Alzheimer's?
Yes, unfortunately, the tagline that I've heard a number of times through the different organizations and all is, we're looking for our first survivor.
Yeah, we didn't have our first survivor. Very nice. But you brought a lot up to us, and I appreciate that. Is there any last minute things that you want to make sure let's get out that website one more time. Website, everybody, fmnfilm.com. So, I mean, check out the film. You're talking $3 for cray. We all got $3 in our pocket. You want to watch the film? Come on over here to the station. I'll give you the $3. I'll pay you the $3.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to bring out is those people who are dealing with it now, we want them to know they're not alone. There are organizations like ALZ.org that they can go to. And some of the things that are in the movie, I think they'll be able to relate to, because nearly all the scenes were from true life situations that one of the team or the other experienced.
And it makes it easier. Very good. Well, listen, Dan, appreciate it very much.
Well, sure.
Great topic. Thank you for coming on today.
I appreciate the time.
And we're going to get you back on. In fact, if I don't see our next guest coming up soon, we just may corral you out of the green room again and try and get you to talk a little more. But you're listening to Deano's Night Out right over here, WRMN 1410. The topic today was about Alzheimer's. Dan Kairis, Hollywood Dan Kairis. Be back in a bit.